It has started. Must just check. It's a very, very, very sad day today. Basically, my perfume, my vintage perfume, Moonflowers by Jane Seymour, is, can you see it? It's nearly gone. I know, I guess I've had this creeping up on me for quite a while, but I only sort of, you just happily go on using something and then you suddenly look at it one day and you think, ooh, it's nearly all gone. And this is really, really, really sad because I think, I don't know, it's always bothered me. You have out of print books and you can get it printed up again or you can find it somewhere else. But with an out of print or out of production perfume, it's gone forever, Nobody else can truly replicate that perfume and, it's just gone. Added to that the fact that it probably isn't exactly the same as the original either because it's sort of matured and aged, bearing in mind this particular perfume, I'm not sure, but it's quite old, so it's kind of aged inside the bottle, so I'll be very sad when it's gone. So yes, this is the last screen appearance of Moonflowers by Jane Seymour. And with that in mind, I thought it might be appropriate today, it's kind of vaguely related, it's not as related as it ought to be probably, but to discuss how to make perfumes last longer. Because just imagine, you're going out somewhere or you've got a wedding or something like that, and you want to sort of make sure you're going to smell nice all day long. You want to know that your perfume's going to last and kind of going to do the distance, as it were. So here are a few tips. Some of them I sort of just knew. Other ones I've kind of gleaned from the internet and other places like that, just to tell you how to make your perfume last longer. Okay. Number one. The first thing is that it's really a good idea to layer your fragrance. So just imagine you've got one I prepared earlier, you've got Amoureuse or something like that, then it would be a really, really good idea to get the accompanying body lotion. So you can maybe put on the body lotion, then, put on the fragrance. Some of them even have hair perfumes or things like that. And if you have an extrait, an eau de parfum, an eau de cologne, and a lotion, then, well, you're away. Just sort of like give it a good spray of everything you've got, so that the sort of fragrance develops throughout the day, and you know that you're always going to smell good. The second thing that you can do to improve the staying power of your fragrance is basically, and I'm not a good one to talk here, I have a little spot, but it's by keeping your skin in good condition because, if you moisture your skin well and if you make sure that your pores are open, then it sounds disgusting, but your pores actually can absorb the scent a little bit and it will make sure that it stays on a little bit longer. Oh, and I forgot to say, if you haven't got an accompanying body lotion for a perfume, and maybe it's quite expensive, then what you can do actually is just spray the perfume, spray a little bit of your perfume into your body lotion, and then you'll mix it up. And if it's a plain unscented lotion, then you'll end up with a slightly scented lotion, so that's quite a cheap way of doing it. Another thing you can do, number 3, is by spraying your perfume just after you've come out the shower. This is because your pores are that little bit open, so it sort of absorbs the perfume a little bit deeper. Whether or not this is healthy, I don't know, but it's certainly a way that some people use to make their perfume last longer. Hair. I didn't mention hair. Hair is very, very, very porous, so if you spray perfume in your hair, then you may well find that it stays around a lot longer than if you sprayed it on your skin. And also, you might say you wash your hands or your wrists like quite a lot throughout the day when you go to the bathroom or something like that. But if you spray in your hair, then you'll generally find you've got a nice cloud of fragrance around you throughout the day. Number 4 of my tips for how to make your perfume last longer is to choose your perfume carefully, because a perfume like a very delicate perfume, maybe Sheer Beautiful by Estee Lauder, which is lovely, absolutely lovely, well that won't last very long. If you choose something with lots of like base notes, lots of very complex woods and resins in the base, then you'll find that it has a longer staying power. So for instance, a Chypre or an Oriental perfume would be a good choice here, if you want the perfume to last long. So maybe choose something like Malabar or Shalimar or Miss Dior. That's a good example of a Chypre perfume. So anything like that will really pack a punch, and you'll probably find that it will last longer because it's got more base notes in it and more complex spices and resins. When you actually put your perfume on, I know I'm always saying this, but don't rub your wrists together because this does actually crush the molecules and sort of it makes them evaporate a little bit too fast. So what you want to do is just leave them to dry if you can, if you've got time, and leave them like that, because then they'll evaporate that little bit slower. So don't rub your wrists together. No, don't do it. If you can afford it, what we normally buy when we go to the shops, we often buy an eau de parfum, or even an eau de cologne, or an eau de toilette, which is not as strong as an eau de parfum. So if you can afford it, and if they have it, then get an extrait, which is basically an even more concentrated version of the perfume. So this is really strong. You know, you want to not go overboard on this one, because, you know, you could knock out people at 30 paces. But if you just dab a little bit behind your ears, you know, and on your wrist, a little tiny bit, and cleavage, décolletage maybe, then that should last quite a long time. Well, about perfume storage, and this is something I didn't pay attention to when I was storing my old perfume, in fact my mum's perfume originally, I think I thieved it from her, is that perfumes actually, they do better in kind of dark glass bottles, or brown bottles, because, you know, they do have a shelf life, actually, perfumes. And quite often, if we've kept a perfume on our shelves for years, if you're like me and you have loads of perfumes, then you just can't get through them that quickly. So they sit on your shelf, and the light actually sort of degrades the perfume, and so does heat and things like that. So yeah, if you can, and if it's a perfume you like, and you're thinking you're not going to use it a lot, then it sounds a bit boring, but decant it into a brown bottle, or, you know, some other bottle, and just keep it in a sort of cool, dark place. Another one, it's a bit similar to spraying them on your hair, but if you don't mind, if you're not wearing like your best Angora jumper or something, then spraying the perfume onto your clothes is another good way of making your perfume last longer, because, you know, your clothes absorb the perfume, and a bit like your hair, they're very porous, and you know, they're not going to get washed off as regularly as you might wash your hands or something like that. And finally, this is very hard to arrange, but if you apply your perfumes in a cooler climate, then you will find that they last longer, because in hot, humid weather, the evaporation of the perfume molecules is so much faster. So you'll just find, whoom, that your beautiful perfume has gone up around you in a big cloud, and no one's really going to appreciate it throughout the day, or at least they probably did briefly, very strongly appreciate it. So yeah, I always think if I'm going on holiday to somewhere really hot, it's a bit of a waste of my best perfumes. No offence if you live somewhere hot, because obviously you don't have a choice. But if I'm going somewhere hot and I've got a choice, then I choose a cheaper, probably, you know, perfume that I like, but that I'm not that attached to, because it's just going to go straight up in smoke, really, metaphorically speaking. And also, it's not really to do with the evaporation rates, but if I'm going to a cooler climate or somewhere, you know, then I think it's nice to wear something warm and spicy, and it just, you know, it peps you up a little bit, doesn't it? And makes you feel, you know, snug. Yeah, so I hope these tips for how to make your perfume last longer have been useful. Please sub me. Lots of awesome perfumed things will be going down sometime. Haven't done them all yet. And also, please visit my site, designyourperfume.co.uk. Cool. Bye-bye.